I want to tell you about a man named Raymond, 68 years old, retired school principal. The kind of man who walked 3 miles every morning, cooked his own meals, never smoked a day in his life. And at a routine checkup, his doctor looked at his blood work and said 4 words that changed everything. Your kidneys are struggling. Creatinine at 1.9, GFR declining. The word dialysis mentioned, not as a certainty, but as a possibility, a real one, sitting there in the room like an uninvited guest. Raymond drove home, sat at his kitchen table, and did what most of us do. He opened his laptop and started searching, and 3 hours later, he had a list of 40 things he was no longer allowed to eat, 2 supplements that contradicted each other, and absolutely zero clarity on what to actually do. 4 months later, his creatinine was 1.3, not because he found a miracle supplement, not because he changed doctors, not because he did anything dramatic or expensive. He changed what he put on his plate. Specifically, he added 5 vegetables that most people walk right past in the grocery store without a second thought. I am going to tell you exactly what those 5 vegetables are, what they do inside your kidneys, and how to eat them. But I also need to tell you something before we get to the 5th one, because the 5th vegetable is the one that surprised Raymond the most. The one he almost did not try, and the one that his doctor later told him was, in her words, not something I would have thought to recommend. Stay with me until the end, because that 5th one, I think it is going to surprise you too. Let's begin. Before we go further, a quick word. This is Dr. Nathan Brooks, and this channel is brand new. I started it because I kept seeing people over 60 leave medical appointments with a number on a piece of paper and no real explanation of what it means or what to do about it. I want to fix that. One video at a time. Real information. Real steps. No confusion. But to reach more people, I need your help. If this video gives you something useful, please hit like right now. For a brand new channel, every single like tells YouTube this content is worth showing to more people. It genuinely matters. Subscribe if you want to be here when the next video comes out. And at the end of this video, I am going to ask you one question in the comments. Your answer decides what I cover next. Now, back to Raymond and your kidneys. Let me explain creatinine in a way that actually makes sense. Every time your muscles move, every step you take, every time you stand up from a chair, every time you reach for something, your body breaks down a molecule called creatine for energy. The leftover waste product of that process is called creatinine. Your kidneys filter creatinine out of your blood continuously, all day, every day. When they are working well, creatinine stays within a normal range. When the kidneys are under stress, when their filtering ability has declined, creatinine accumulates. The number goes up. Now here is what your doctor probably did not have time to explain. After 60, kidney filtration naturally slows down. The tiny filtering units inside the kidney, called nephrons, become less efficient with age. By the time most people reach 70, they have lost somewhere between 30 and 40% of the kidney filtering capacity they had at 30. Not because something went wrong, just because of time. But, and this is the part that matters, there is a significant difference between age-related decline and accelerated decline. Age-related decline is slow, gradual, manageable. Accelerated decline happens when kidneys are filtering through chronic inflammation, processing excess sodium, dealing with blood sugar spikes, and working through the byproducts of a diet full of processed food. You cannot reverse time, but you can absolutely reduce the extra burden your kidneys are carrying. That is what Raymond did. And that is what these 5 vegetables are designed to do. One important note before we continue. If your creatinine is significantly elevated, if your doctor has mentioned stage 3 or higher chronic kidney disease, or if you are already working with a nephrologist, please do not make major dietary changes without speaking to your doctor first. Some of the vegetables in this list are higher in potassium. For people with advanced kidney disease, potassium management is critical and needs to be personalized. Everything in this video is aimed at people with mildly elevated creatinine, early kidney concern, or those who want to support kidney health proactively after 60. If you are unsure where you fall, that conversation with your doctor is always worth having. For everyone else, let's talk vegetables. The first vegetable is one that almost nobody connects to kidney health. And when I tell you what it is, I want you to resist the urge to scroll past it, because I know it sounds boring. Red cabbage. Here is why it belongs at the top of this list. Most vegetables that people think of as healthy, spinach, tomatoes, potatoes, avocado, are high in potassium. And while potassium is essential for a healthy body, declining kidneys can struggle to excrete excess potassium efficiently. This is why so many kidney health lists feel like nothing but restrictions. Red cabbage solves this problem. 1 cup of raw red cabbage contains roughly 216 milligrams of potassium. Compare that to a cup of spinach at around 840 milligrams, or a medium potato at over 900 milligrams. You are getting the benefits of a deeply nutritious vegetable without the potassium load. But low potassium is only part of the story. Red cabbage is packed with anthocyanins, the dark pigments that give it that deep purple color. These are the same compounds found in blueberries and tart cherries. And research published in the Journal of Renal Nutrition found that diets rich in anthocyanins were associated with meaningfully slower progression of kidney function decline in older adults. The mechanism is oxidative stress reduction directly in kidney tissue. The anthocyanins act as a buffer against the inflammatory damage that accelerates nephron loss. Red cabbage also contains compounds called indoles that help the body process and eliminate certain waste products, reducing what the kidneys have to filter in the first place. How to eat it: raw in a simple slaw with olive oil and lemon, lightly stir-fried, or fermented as sauerkraut, which adds gut-supportive probiotics that we will come back to when we talk about vegetable 4. 2 to 3 servings per week. Inexpensive. Available in every grocery store. Raymond started here. This was week 1. Now, before vegetable 2, I need to ask you something. How many times have you been told what not to eat for your kidneys? Probably a long list, right? Here is what I want you to notice about this list. Everything here is something to ADD, not remove. Because a diet built around addition, around crowding out the harmful with the beneficial, is a diet people actually maintain. Restriction diets fail. Addition habits stick. Keep that in mind as we go through the rest of these. The second vegetable is cauliflower, and I want to explain this one carefully, because the reason it supports kidney health is not what most people assume. People think of cauliflower as a low-carb substitute. Cauliflower rice, cauliflower pizza base. Fine, but that is not why it is on this list. Cauliflower contains a compound called indole 3-carbinol. This compound has been studied for its ability to help the body neutralize and excrete certain toxins and metabolic waste products, directly reducing what your kidneys have to process. Less incoming waste means less filtration demand. Less filtration demand means less strain on already stressed nephrons. Cauliflower is also high in folate and vitamin C, both of which support the repair and maintenance of the tiny capillaries running through kidney tissue. Here is something most people do not realize. Kidney filtration happens through an incredibly dense network of microscopic blood vessels. When those vessels are inflamed or damaged, filtration drops. Nutrients that support vascular health inside the kidney directly support filtration efficiency, and cauliflower contains no purines, which matters because high purine foods contribute to uric acid production. Elevated uric acid is increasingly recognized in kidney research as a significant driver of kidney inflammation, separate from gout and often undiagnosed. How to eat it: roasted with olive oil and garlic, which, not coincidentally, is also the next vegetable on this list. Steamed and mashed as a potato substitute. Blended into soups for creaminess without sodium. Avoid heavy cheese sauces. The sodium in processed cheese works directly against what the cauliflower is doing. 3 servings per week. Easy to prepare. Easy to rotate into meals you are already making. The third one is not technically a vegetable in the way we usually think of it, but it absolutely belongs here. And this is the one Raymond told me later he almost skipped, because he thought he already used enough garlic in his cooking. He was using it wrong. Garlic contains a compound called allicin. But here is the thing about allicin that almost nobody knows. It does not exist in whole garlic. It is created through a chemical reaction that happens when garlic is crushed or chopped and then left to rest for 10 minutes before cooking. Most people crush garlic and immediately throw it into a hot pan. The heat destroys the enzymatic reaction before a allicin can fully form. You get the flavor, you do not get the full medicinal benefit. Crush it. Rest it. 10 minutes. Then cook it. That 10-minute wait is the difference between flavored food and functional food. Now, why does allicin matter specifically for kidneys? Research published in Food and Chemical Toxicology demonstrated that allicin significantly reduced markers of oxidative damage in kidney tissue in subjects with elevated creatinine. The mechanism is allicin's ability to reduce the activity of specific inflammatory enzymes that damage nephron membranes, those tiny filtering units. Garlic also has a well-documented mild blood pressure lowering effect. And since high blood pressure is one of the leading causes of kidney function decline, it physically damages the small blood vessels inside the kidney over time. Anything that supports blood pressure management indirectly protects kidney filtration. How to eat it daily. It is a seasoning, not a serving size. 2 to 3 crushed cloves, rested 10 minutes, added to whatever you are already cooking. It costs almost nothing. It takes almost no effort. And it is one of the most studied food compounds in kidney health research. Raymond told me later that the 10-minute rule was the thing he remembers most from our conversation. I had been cooking with garlic my whole life, he said. And I had been doing it wrong my whole life. Now, vegetable 4. This one is going to seem counterintuitive, because it involves something that most kidney health advice completely ignores. Your gut. Stay with me. Because the connection between your gut and your kidneys is one of the most important things in this entire video, and almost nobody talks about it. The 4th vegetable is asparagus. And asparagus earns its place through 2 completely different mechanisms. One that most people know about and one that almost nobody does. The one most people know, asparagus is a powerful natural diuretic. It contains a compound called asparagine, an amino acid that directly stimulates urine production. More urine output means more efficient creatinine excretion. Creatinine leaves the body through urine. A kidney producing good urine volume clears creatinine more efficiently than one that is dehydrated or sluggish. Simple, direct, measurable. But here is the part most people do not know, and this is the gut connection I mentioned. Asparagus contains a specific type of soluble fiber called inulin. Inulin feeds beneficial bacteria in your colon, the bacteria responsible for producing compounds called short-chain fatty acids. And short-chain fatty acids reduce intestinal inflammation. Now, why does intestinal inflammation affect the kidneys? Because of something researchers now call the gut-kidney axis. When the gut lining becomes inflamed, when it becomes what some researchers call leaky, inflammatory compounds that would normally stay inside the digestive tract begin entering the bloodstream. Those compounds travel through circulation, and they reach the kidneys. A chronically inflamed gut creates a chronically inflamed kidney environment, and a kidney filtering through inflammation declines faster than one that is not. Supporting gut health with the right fibers is now understood to be a genuine kidney protective strategy, not a side benefit, a direct mechanism. Raymond had never connected his digestive health to his kidney numbers. Most people have not. But when he added asparagus twice a week and his morning digestion improved, he said he could feel the difference in his energy by afternoon. Less bloating, less heaviness, and 2 months later, less creatinine. How to eat it, roasted or steamed. Fresh or frozen, not canned. Canned asparagus contains significant sodium that undoes much of the benefit. 2 servings per week is a meaningful starting point. And now, vegetable 5. The one Raymond almost skipped. The one his doctor said she would not have thought to recommend. Arugula. I know. You were expecting something more dramatic, something exotic, something you have never heard of. It is arugula, also called rocket, the peppery salad green that most people use as a garnish and never think about again. Here is why it belongs at the top of any kidney support conversation. First, arugula is one of the lowest potassium, lowest phosphorus leafy greens available. Phosphorus management is critical for kidney health in a way that even potassium is not, because declining kidneys struggle to excrete excess phosphorus, which leads to a cascade of problems including calcium imbalance, bone density loss, and cardiovascular stress. Spinach and kale, despite their excellent general health reputation, are actually poorly suited to people managing creatinine because of their phosphorus content. Arugula gives you everything a dark leafy green offers without that phosphorus load. Second, arugula is extraordinarily high in natural dietary nitrates, not the synthetic nitrates in processed meats. Natural nitrates, which the body converts to nitric oxide. Nitric oxide dilates blood vessels, including the tiny capillaries running through kidney tissue. Multiple studies have found that dietary nitrate intake is associated with improved kidney perfusion, the flow of blood through kidney tissue. Better blood flow, better filtration, simpler than it sounds. Third, arugula is one of the highest plant sources of vitamin K1, which supports vascular integrity throughout the body, including inside the kidney's filtration network. Raymond told me he walked straight past arugula for 3 months. It seemed too simple. Too ordinary. He was looking for something that felt more like medicine. I kept waiting for the complicated answer, he said. And the whole time it was sitting in a bag in the salad section for $2. How to eat it. Raw as a salad base. Keep it simple. Olive oil, lemon, a little sea salt. Wilted briefly into scrambled eggs or pasta. Added to a sandwich instead of lettuce. It loses nitrate content when cooked at high heat, so keep preparation simple. 3 to 4 servings per week. Daily if you enjoy it. It is $2. It takes no preparation. And it was the vegetable that Raymond said made him feel, for the first time, like he was actually doing something rather than just avoiding things. Before the results, one more thing. And this one is not a vegetable. Water. Mild chronic dehydration is one of the most overlooked contributors to elevated creatinine in people over 60. Here is why it is so common in this age group. The sensation of thirst diminishes with age. By the time you feel thirsty at 65, you are often already meaningfully dehydrated. A dehydrated kidney concentrates urine, reduces filtration, and allows creatinine to accumulate in the blood even when kidney tissue itself is functioning reasonably well. 6 to 8 glasses of plain water daily, not tea, not coffee, not juice, is the floor for kidney support. Drink a glass of water before anything else in the morning. Before coffee, before breakfast. Before you look at your phone, Raymond added this the same week he added red cabbage. He said within 5 days his morning energy had changed noticeably. Start here tonight. Here is what to realistically expect, because I am not going to promise you what I cannot deliver. In the first 2 to 3 weeks, what you will notice first is not a lab result. It is how your body feels. Less morning puffiness around the eyes and ankles. Less fluid retention in the legs by evening. Better digestion. More consistent energy through the afternoon. At 6 to 8 weeks of consistent eating, these 5 vegetables, good hydration, reduced processed food, you may begin to see a modest but real improvement in creatinine on your next blood test. At 3 to 6 months of sustained dietary change, the cumulative effect on kidney filtration becomes more significant. This is where people start seeing their doctors take notice. Raymond saw his creatinine move from 1.9 to 1.3 in 4 months. Not overnight. Consistently, 1 meal at a time. Keep a simple record of what you are eating. And when you go for your next blood work, tell your doctor specifically what dietary changes you have made. That context matters enormously for how they interpret your results. Here is what I want you to do this week. Not all 5 vegetables at once. Just 2. Red cabbage and garlic. They are inexpensive, available everywhere, and simple to cook with. Add red cabbage to 2 meals this week. Use garlic in your cooking every day. Crush it, rest it 10 minutes, then cook it. That is week 1. Week 2, add cauliflower. Week 3, asparagus. Week 4, arugula. 1 at a time, consistently, without drama. Your kidneys filtered approximately 180 liters of blood today. They did it without you thinking about them once. They have been doing that every single day for over 60 years. They are not asking for much. They are asking for less of what burdens them and more of what supports them. Raymond gave them that. 4 months later, he is still walking his 3 miles every morning. His creatinine is still coming down, and the word dialysis has not come up in his last 2 appointments. He did not find a miracle. He found 5 vegetables and a 10-minute rule about garlic. Start tonight. 1 clove of garlic. Crushed. Rested 10 minutes. Added to whatever you are already making for dinner. That is your homework for tonight. And before you go, I need one thing from you. Leave a comment below right now and tell me, what health problem is affecting your life the most at this moment? Kidneys, blood pressure, joints, blood sugar, sleep, energy, cholesterol. Whatever it is, write it below. I read every single comment, and your answer directly decides what Dr. Nathan Brooks covers next. This channel exists for people over 60 who deserve honest, clear, practical health information. Not panic, not confusion, not a list of 40 restrictions. Real answers, real steps, every week. If this video gave you something useful, please like it. Share it with someone whose doctor told them their creatinine was a little high. And subscribe so you are here for the next one. I will see you then. Take care of those kidneys. They have earned it.